Hi everybody, Amber with Healthymale. Thanks for joining me today, and hopefully for many more of these workouts. I get to announce to you that I am now 14 and a half weeks pregnant. I'm not quite sure if I have a baby bump, but I know my abs aren't there anymore. So what I would like to do is take you along on the journey with me. It's a 42-week journey. You're going to get to see the progress from now all the way up until I'm about to give birth, and then you will see the comeback phase as well. So what I'm going to do today is take you through a foundational workout. Everything you're going to see will be done in the convenience of your own home, so you don't have to go anywhere. You don't even have to get dressed. All you need to do is bring your effort and your intensity. And remember, as a pregnant female, when we exercise, we don't want to get our heart rate above 150 beats per minute. So we'll do the exercises. If you start to get out of breath, take a break in between. This is a progressive exercise routine. So we're going to start out with base exercises today, all body weight, and we're going to make sure that your joints can handle it. Also, as a pregnant woman, we have a lot of hormones that are surging through our body, and one of them makes sure that our joints are able to easily relax, because when it's time to give birth, we need to be able to push that baby out of a very small space. So what we need to be careful of when we exercise is not overstretching our ligaments or our joints. So when I show you exercises, I will give you modifications such as for a push-up and other things that at times can put a lot of pressure on our wrists or our hands. And we just want to be careful and take care that we have a good, safe journey through our pregnancy and our exercising so we can continue to do it the whole time and after, injury-free. Okay, so we're going to start, like I said, with very easy foundational exercises today, all body weight. We're going to do first a plank. Everything we're going to do today will be for a 15 repetition count. So even when you're down in just a static hold, we'll just count to 15 and then we'll move on to the next exercise. There are ways to modify the plank so we can do it from a full push-up position. If it begins to hurt your wrists from the pressure, you can drop down onto your elbows. You can even go down onto your knees to make it even more modified. I'm going to show you all three and we'll count to 15 in those holds. So this first is the full plank. We want to make sure that our shoulders are completely over our hands, that our feet are together, our head is lifted, and our abdomen is tight. Even though we can't be doing sit-ups or crunches or anything extreme for our core while we're pregnant, we can be doing these static holds that will help to keep our back strong as well. So this will be the more advanced plank or the full plank. This will be a bridge or a modified plank. So like I said, if the full plank hurts your wrists, you can always drop to your elbows and hold it, just as long as that baby bump doesn't touch the ground yet. Another modified version would be from your knees, and this would be the very beginning of a plank progression. We would start here from our knees and our elbows, moving to our elbows, and then eventually moving to our hands. 15-second hold in the plank. Very good. Now we're going to move into a basic push-up. So we can do the push-up, a full push-up from our hands, or we can drop down to our knees. So I'm going to show you both. I'm not going to do 15 repetitions in each position, but I'll change it throughout. So this will be your basic push-up here. We're going to have our hands a little wider than shoulder width. Feet are together. Our head is lifted again. We're going to inhale as we go down, exhale, press up. Now from our knees, it will look like this. Do what is comfortable. Again, from the toes. 2 more here. Nice job. Now we're going to move into a basic squat. So, non-weighted, this is safe enough. You get to choose the depth of your squat. Remember, the deeper that you go, it does put more pressure on your hips, but that's okay, because the deeper that you go, it works you in a further range of motion. So it'll help to elongate the muscles more and work them into a deeper fashion. So I'm going to go as deep as I can since I exercise on a regular basis. My head is lifted, my chest stays up. So you notice I'm not bending down to get the depth. I'm dropping my hips. You can either go to 90 degrees. If this is as deep as you go in a squat to start, that's okay too. You'll progress to get deeper. My feet are hip width apart. And remember, we want to make room for that baby bump. Let's go 5 more here. Inhale down, exhale, come up. And 5. Good, 15 of those. Now we're going to go back down onto the ground. We're going to do what is called a bird dog or a spinal balance. This is an excellent exercise because it works your whole core without having to do any kind of crunching. So we are going to raise our opposite arm to leg up and come down. We're going to alternate sides, continuously returning to that tabletop position with a neutral spine. We inhale as we raise the opposite arm to leg up. Exhale as we come down. Notice how my hip is not lifting. I'm not rotating to get my leg up. But I am trying to make a straight line from my fingertips to my toes. Remember, we're doing 15 repetitions, so when it's a single arm leg movement, it's 15 on each side. So we're halfway there. Really take your time and feel the movement. See how it feels on your body. See how it feels moving into those balancing positions. Remember, we need to be extra careful. We don't want to fall on the baby. Very good. Now we're going to come up and we're going to work on another balancing exercise. So what we're going to do is we're going to move into a back stepping lunge for our legs, coming up with a knee drive to work on our balance. The larger that you become during pregnancy, your center of balance comes off or becomes off. And that's because you start to grow this way. So when you work on your balance, it'll help just to ensure that you do not fall while you're pregnant. Focus on a stationary object in front of you. That always helps. Take a nice big step back. Make sure that we always have a nice 90-degree angle from our knee to our ankle and to our hip. Coming up, core is tight as it can be, lifting that knee up to 90 degrees and back down. Again, taking your time. You're not in any rush. Again, we're just getting the foundation for the next 25 weeks of workouts. So that was one side, we're going to do the other. Keeping our chest up just like a squat. We're not bending forward to get the depth. 5 more here. Last one. Very good. Now we're going to move back down into the ground, and we are going to do a non-weighted, non-elevated dip. So we are going to move into a somewhat of a tabletop. We're going to have our fingers pointing towards our heels. We are going to bridge up slightly, and we're going to bend at our elbows here. Dipping our pelvis to the ground, keeping our chin up. Two more. Very good. And you should feel that in your triceps and the back of your arms. Another great glute exercise. We're always worried about losing the shape of our butt when we get bigger and we become more pregnant. So a good way to keep it nice and tight and round, besides the lunges and the squats that put a lot of pressure on our knees, we can go down into tabletop position, and we are going to do a non-weighted air kick here. We're going to go up and over. It's an arc motion. I have my toe pointed, but I'm still flexing in my glutes. And we're counting up and over as 1 and back down. Five more. Good. And we're going to switch sides. Same thing. Big arc motion. And I'm keeping my toe pointed for this, not flexed. We want to make sure we're just working in that glute. Two more here. Very good. And you'll notice throughout the workout that I'm not going to ever be laying down on my stomach, obviously because we can't. And although I can still lay down on my back right now, in about 3 or 4 more weeks, we won't be able to do any kind of laying down on our back exercises because the pressure of the baby will press on our interior vena cava and it will actually stop the blood flow. Even if it's just for a short period of time, we want to avoid that. So, after we do those glute kicks, I'm going to do a sort of cardiovascular movement. 15 on each side, but without jumping. As we become more pregnant, we don't want to be jumping either. So we could sort of hop from side to side. And again, this workout routine today is just for you to get the foundations. Make sure that things don't hurt. If you're a beginner, we'll progress you up and then back down. If you've been exercising, like I have for a very long time, you can probably lift heavier weights than somebody who's a beginner, but that's okay. While you're pregnant, your exercise is more for maintaining, helping you to get through your birth much easier, and then helping you to recover after. I actually went into labor with both of my children, previous children, in the gym. So it does work, and they were both on time. Remember, we're doing 15 on each side. I lost count, but let's go 5 more on each side. And the faster that you go through this exercise, The higher it will get your heart rate. Very good. And those are skiers without the jump in between. Oh yes. The very last exercise that we are going to complete together is going to be a side plank, and we'll work our glute as we raise our hips up. As you know, when you're pregnant, you cannot do any kind of twisting exercises to work your obliques. But there are other ways to work your obliques and keep your side wall strong while you're pregnant. We are going to keep our knees bent. We're going to make sure our shoulder is over our elbow and our knees are aligned with our hips. We're going to raise up, and then we're going to bring our top leg up. So we're not only working now our obliques, but also our glutes. So let's do that for 15. Make sure you're always breathing throughout your workout, that we're not holding our breath. Now we're going to switch to the other side. I'm sweating, you guys. This is working. And it will work. The more you work it, the more it works. Consistency is the key. Very good. Okay, everybody, there you have it. 10 foundational exercises to work on and do this week to make sure you're ready for next week when we start incorporating some actual resistance into the workouts. See how everything feels, do the modified exercises, and remember, if you feel like you're really out of shape because you're pregnant, it's just because you're pregnant. Your body is working overtime with all those hormones. It's making a whole life. So as long as you stay active throughout your pregnancy, you're not only doing yourself a favor, but you're also doing your baby a favor. Everybody enjoy.